Hey, welcome in to a Thursday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Well, the big debate day is here. We are in commercial. We're going to be talking a lot about it. Visiting with Matt Mayer of Opportunity, Ohio at noon. So thanks for sticking with us, and I hope you'll be with us tonight at Dave & Buster's in Hilliard. I hear the band, I hear the music, so let's get started. Well, it's finally here. The debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden tonight in Atlanta. And we hope that you will be with us throughout today's edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. We hope you'll be with us tonight at Dave & Buster's in Hilliard. $10. Buy your tickets at 989theanswer.com. You got to buy them before the doors open at 8:30 p.m. Or no, yeah, I think the doors open at 8. The program starts at 8:30. We'll have some discussion. I'll tip my hand today as to how I think Donald Trump ought to answer a lot of the questions. I think Trump has the upper hand in this going in. Now, it doesn't mean he'll have the upper hand coming out, because that depends entirely on Donald Trump's tone and temperament. If Donald Trump can be entertained, amused, bemused by the things that Joe Biden throws at him, then Donald Trump will win this debate. Donald Trump just has to stick to the facts. And there's one magic word for Donald Trump tonight. Every sentence that Donald Trump speaks, every time he rebuts what Joe Biden has said in his 2-minute lie fest, to every question that Jake Tapper and Dana Bash throw at Joe Biden, which is probably already a question that Joe Biden has a well-rehearsed answer for, because I have no confidence that CNN did not give these questions or leak these questions to the Biden campaign ahead of time. But that's okay, because Trump has such the upper hand in this that the one magic word that he needs to start every response with is you. Donald Trump needs to turn every question, every accusation, every allegation, every slur, every lie, he needs to immediately turn it back to Joe Biden. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. One of the things that I think Donald Trump should talk about when it comes to immigration, and Biden talking about, since I issued an executive order, illegal border crossings are down 40%. And Donald Trump could say something like, you said throughout the first 3.5 years of your presidency that you didn't have the power to do anything on the border, and you blamed Republicans in Congress, and now you have issued an executive order. I'm actually happy, Joe, that illegal immigration is down since you issued your executive order. I only wish you hadn't canceled every border action that I implemented to give us a secure border during my presidency. Maybe if you hadn't done that, you wouldn't have to stand over there and be waiting for me to mention the names of Ruby Garcia in Michigan, or Laken Riley in Georgia, or Rachel Morin in Maryland, or Jocelyn Nungery in Houston, Texas, because you are an accessory to their murders because you let in illegal migrants, which is the only crime that is 100% preventable, is any crime committed by an illegal migrant. And Donald Trump, in response to Joe Biden talking about Trump not being trustworthy or Trump being a liar, can say, well, Joe, lying is bad. We can both agree on that. For instance, if you hadn't said in our 2020 presidential debate that the Hunter Biden laptop was misinformation, when you full well knew it was not, when the FBI knew it was not, maybe you would never have become president, Joe. If you hadn't said in our 2020 presidential debate that I was the only one who made money off of China, which we now know is a lie because your son Hunter testified in court that he received $60,000 from a Chinese energy company executive, which we know that no Chinese energy company operates outside the purview of the Chinese Communist Party, making your son an unregistered violator of the Foreign Agent Registration Act. See, that's how Trump needs to attack this. And he also should say, Things like your own energy secretary, Jennifer Granholm, said she has no plan on how to lower gas prices. Your plan is to empty our strategic petroleum reserves to their lowest level in decades. You promised, Joe, that we would have a return to normalcy. The adults would be back in charge. I don't consider, maybe the American people consider, a man with fake breasts bearing them on the White House lawn normal. But, sadly, under your administration, that has become normal, because I was watching you attempt to dance in the Juneteenth ceremony on the White House lawn a couple of weeks ago, and I see a man with a beard in a sparkly dress dancing next to you on the White House lawn, pretending to be a woman. Is that what you perceive as normal? It's not what I perceive as normal. So these are the things that Donald Trump needs to talk about tonight. Every question, every allegation, every slur, every attempt to unnerve him, he needs to turn it back on Joe Biden. And that'll do two things. Well, it might do more than two. Number one, it'll show people that Donald Trump can be reasonable. It will also draw a contrast between Donald Trump's administration and Joe Biden's administration, and it'll give Americans a vision of what Donald Trump believes our country should be going forward, which is what it has been in the past, and that Joe Biden's vision for America is not just blurred and not just flawed, not just evil, but it is also a failure, and it has been a failure. Ronald Reagan, when he posed the question, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago, when he ran against Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan didn't have a track record that proved that he could deliver a better America than Jimmy Carter. It was just a promise. It was just a belief under Reagan. It is a reality under Trump that America was better off. And so he can ask the question, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Joe Biden keeps telling you, you are. He keeps telling you the border is secure. He keeps telling you that he's doing everything he can to lower costs at the grocery store. He keeps telling you he's doing everything he can to produce domestic energy. Maybe you, Joe, can explain why gas now is closer to $3.50 a gallon across the country, and well above that in Arizona and California, than it was when I was leaving office, and it was $2.40 a gallon. Maybe you can explain that. I'd love to hear an explanation. I think the American people would love to hear an explanation, Joe. So these are all things that are layups for Trump. If he can just keep his tone, if he can just keep his temperament, if he can just not take offense or umbrage at the things that Biden throws at him. And the question is coming about convicted felon, right? 100% coming on convicted felon. Here's Trey Gowdy, former congressman, Fox News commentator on how Donald Trump can just beat back every time Biden mentions convicted felon. Trey Gowdy should respond, or Donald Trump should respond, according to Trey Gowdy, with something like this.
And I would say, Joe, you may not remember, but you may have been one too, except you were found not competent to stand trial. Remember that, Joe? Special counsel said you weren't even competent to stand trial. Your son is a convicted felon. So let's get that behind us. Two of us are convicted felons, and you're an unconvicted felon. Now let's talk about a mother of 5 who got murdered, a nursing student who couldn't even go out for a jog around a lake in Georgia, 2 young girls, one of whom was strangled and one of whom was murdered. Let's don't talk about us. Let's talk about the safety of the American people, and let's talk about a double-tracked justice system where Hillary Clinton can destroy evidence and do it with impunity, right, but I get prosecuted on day one. This 2-track justice system ends, and I'm not going after my political opponents like you did, but I am going after people who cause Americans harm and injure them and kill them. That's what my AG will do.
I mean, he's right. That's a totally perfect answer, is to remind people about Robert Hur, who's appointed by Merrick Garland, Joe Biden's own attorney general, saying that, yeah, Joe Biden committed crimes with classified documents. And the only reason, Joe, you're not charged is because the special counsel deemed you a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory who would be sympathetic to a jury. I'm with it. I'm sharp. I make an inviting target. Alvin Bragg in New York, oh, he can't file enough charges against me. They can't amend enough laws to revive E. Jean Carroll's ridiculous accusations against me in court. But it's funny, Joe. I'm a danger to democracy, you say. I'm going to weaponize the justice system against my opponents. But I think John Eastman and Michael Flynn and Peter Navarro and Paul Manafort and Alvin Weiselberg and Steve Bannon and Roger Stone and a couple other people who have worked for me have all felt the wrath of your Justice Department. And you know who hasn't felt the wrath of your Justice Department? Those Hamas sympathizers at Columbia University in New York City who've had all the charges against them for taking over Hamilton Hall in what looked a lot to me, Joe, like an insurrection-y type riot. Alvin Bragg has no interest in prosecuting them. That's justice under Joe Biden.
Mostly sunny, a bit less humid this afternoon. The high today 81. Clear to partly cloudy tonight, low 59. Sunny clouds tomorrow, and the high 88. Saturday, cloudy, humid, shower and a heavy thunderstorm. That could bring some damaging wind, maybe some flash flooding too. The high Saturday, 87. Passing shower on Sunday morning, otherwise some clouds and sun. High on Sunday, 84. Sunny, terrific day on Monday, the high 80. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM.
There's Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friend. The only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friend. Every executive order this president has issued relating to the border and relating to dealing with the Hispanic community is going to be pulled back. We're not going to be fooling with that. I don't believe for a second we're the nation that builds walls and whips up hysteria over immigration. No one will be deported in my administration. The first time ever we've told people they can't come to America. That ends. The cage is closed.
Should undocumented immigrants arrested by local police be turned over to immigration officials?
No. Trump's cruel and humane border policies, remain in Mexico program. I mean, all of this.
Immigrants arrested by local police.
Ever we've told people they can't come to America. That ends. The cage is closed.
Ironic. Those who claim to fight for democracy are working overtime to ensure their preferred policies remain in place, regardless of what the people actually vote for. It gives the game away. To the left, democracy has nothing to do with honoring the outcome of elections. For them, democracy means they get to rule. I'm Carol Platt-Leva.
Planning for retirement is no small task. If you don't know where to start, join Rodney Peters of Peters Wealth Group every Saturday from 10 and 2 to Retire Ready, Ohio. Rodney shares health and fitness strategies that just might change the course of your retirement. Listen every Saturday, 10 and 2, Retire Ready, Ohio, with Rodney Peters of Peters Wealth Group. Firm offers insurance services, investment advisory solutions for all through Peters Wealth Group, and state registered investment advisor. Back to search for the future options. Making you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flock Line with your host Rick Hughes every Sunday morning at 8 here on 98.9 FM The Answer. The Flock Line describes a main line of resistance in your soul built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flock Line with Rick Hughes, Sunday mornings at 8, right here on 98.9 FM The Answer.
I'm Kevin Cost. I'm trying to introduce my new There was a promise in America that you're strong enough, that you're tough enough. You make this out there yours. It was not a fair place. But people aspire to be great. I think Horizon is all about that. And Americans sound like Americans tomorrow. Get tickets now.
We're more connected than ever before. 90% of America's students use some form of social media, but not all of it's used in a good way. Hurtful posts online are leading to social isolation for many. Psychologists say it's bullying in a brand new way. Well, beyond differences, it might be safe for looking to change that with ideas for students, their parents, and even teachers. Take a pledge to be kind online and learn more at wearekindonline.com.
So I apologize for being gone yesterday. I had a little business that I needed to attend to with a board that I serve on. And in the course of that, I had an opportunity to speak to someone who had just experienced a catastrophic health event. And in the course of that, we were going to talk about Patriot Switch products, and we just put that on the shelf. I prayed with her, shared the gospel with her, and hopefully offered her some comfort. And I'll be putting a Bible in the mail to her today in the hopes that that will transform her life the way it has mine. I love these conversations with listeners. I look forward to tonight's event at Dave & Buster's. Hope you're there. I really appreciate you guys as an audience. And yeah, you can help me out by subscribing to the shopping service that is Patriot Switch or buying Riverbend Ranch steaks. But most of all, this is about, like-minded people coming together. So if you have interest in those products, you know where to go, patriotswitch.com/Bruce or riverbendranchsteaks.com or riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. But hopefully this is more than just about those capitalistic endeavors. Hopefully it's about reaching out to each other and helping each other, because when I hear your stories, they strengthen me. And hopefully when you hear mine, they strengthen you. So I appreciate you guys being a part of my audience, and look forward to seeing you tonight or interacting with you in whatever way develops as we spend more time together. Big debate tonight. Dave & Buster's watch party. Get your tickets, 989theanswer.com. Democrats have a plan. Boy, do they have a plan. Here's Michael Tyler, who you last heard from on the day that he brought Robert De Niro to the courthouse in Manhattan before the jury rendered a verdict against Donald Trump. It's not prejudicial to the jury at all. Michael Tyler is a campaign surrogate for Joe Biden. He's actually very good at his job, which means he lies, because everybody in the Biden administration does. Jen Psaki was really good at lying. Corinne Jean-Pierre, not so good at it. Michael Tyler, pretty good at it. But here is where he says Joe Biden is going to make headway against Donald Trump and prove the former president vulnerable on these issues.
But the problem for Trump is that he's going to have to answer for all the things he has been saying at those MAGA rallies. He's going to have to answer for the role that he played in overturning Roe v. Wade. He's out there on the stump saying the extreme state level abortion bans that he's responsible for are working out brilliantly. He's going to have to answer for the threat that he continues to pose to American democracy. You have Republicans now like Adam Kinzinger and Jeff Duncan, the former lieutenant governor of this state in Georgia, who are endorsing Joe Biden because they understand that if the sacred cause of America is going to continue to be democracy, that there's a home for you in Joe Biden's campaign, and he's the one to continue to carry this nation forward.
Man, how is Donald Trump going to overcome the endorsement of Joe Biden by Adam Kinzinger and Jeff Duncan? Isn't Jeff Duncan the guy who's the ventriloquist, who has like the woman with the crabby looking face? Isn't his name? Isn't he a comedian? Like Jeff Duncan? Isn't that his? He's like the most tan politician I've ever seen. This just Jeff Duncan. I mean, wow. Jeff Duncan and Adam Kinzinger. And Donald Trump's going to have to answer for the role he played in the overturn of Roe versus Wade. Wouldn't that have been the Supreme Court that did that? Did Donald Trump do that by executive order? The answer, no. He appointed Supreme Court justices. And you have to answer how those state bans are working out. Well, I wish we could find out how the state bans work out, except all the liberal judges throughout the country keep blocking the state laws, which, is kind of a reflection of not observing the separation of church and state, which, if you were of a mind, you could maybe argue, Michael Tyler, that that's not observing the co-equal branches of government and kind of, sort of, a threat to the republic, which, is really what we are. We're not a democracy, but have it however you want. Abortion and threat to democracy. They're going with that. I hope they go with that. I just hope Trump is equipped to answer it, which he should be equipped to answer it. Now, Trump gets to speak last tonight. And so he should have his final summation well rehearsed and land it powerfully. And I've been thinking about what would I say. And basically what I would say is, you've heard us tonight talk for 90 minutes about my policies that I would enact for America. You've had the opportunity to experience those policies and how they've worked in your life. You've now had the opportunity to see 3.5 years and another unfortunate 6 months of Joe Biden as president of the United States. And you can certainly compare how they've worked in your life and how his policies have worked in your life. And this debate tonight is about helping you decide which candidate, which vision for America you prefer. As I assess Joe Biden's presidency, what I see is a complete and total lack of accountability. Because, and this is what Trump should say, remind me again about how many of the families of the slain soldiers at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan were invited to the White House after their sons and daughters lost their lives serving this country. Remind me again how many were invited. I'll remind you the number was 0. Instead, we have trans activists bearing their breasts on the White House lawn. We have creepy people coming to the White House press room from Hollywood. We have activists and green energy goofballs and everybody else who have free reign to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, but we can't even bring in the parents of the soldiers blown up at Abbey Gate. And oh, by the way, we can't hold a single general accountable for the disastrous events that happened in Kabul, which is where our American standing on the world stage began to plummet. And Joe Biden has the temerity to term that withdrawal from Afghanistan an extraordinary success. So extraordinary that it emboldened Vladimir Putin to invade Ukraine. So extraordinary that it emboldened Iran to take the cash that Joe Biden is giving them, because he doesn't deem them a threat, to take that cash and give it to the Houthis, who have turned shipping lanes in the Middle East into such a danger that shipping routes are now going down around the Cape of Horn, increasing the cost to real Americans. Where is the accountability for that? There is no accountability in the Biden administration. None. Oh, maybe if a freaky dude who wears a dress and steals luggage multiple times and is caught on camera, he might lose his job, only to be replaced by another creepy dude in a dress who has said that police are the modern reincarnation of lynch mobs. This is the accountability you're voting for if you're voting for Joe Biden. And by the way, make no mistake, you're not just voting for Joe Biden as president. You're voting for Kamala Harris as president. Accountability, again, you're voting for Joe Biden so he can make Kamala Harris president when he either dies in office or the Democrats finally admit that he can't do the job anymore. And she was given control over the border as border czar how many years ago? 3. And how many times has she been to the actual border where people are crossing illegally? That would be 0. This is a choice about accountability for actions. And you can fall victim to the phony lawfare that they're unleashing against me, or you can actually hold them accountable for their policies that have made your lives more painful.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. The Supreme Court released another handful of rulings today, including one rejecting a nationwide settlement for the maker of OxyContin, Purdue Pharma. The High Court also allowing emergency abortions in Idaho for now. Nothing today on presidential immunity in the case involving former President Trump. That decision may be released tomorrow. And speaking of the former president, this evening, he'll debate President Biden. CNN-sponsored debate in Atlanta. The U.S. economy saw its slowest growth in 2 years in the first quarter.
I mean, part of it, the left has to own. They are aggressively anti-common sense. The Democrats keep running on this one idea saying to the American people, you can't possibly think you can do worse than Donald Trump. And they keep saying, yes, we can. Yeah. Yes, we can. And I understand that. I do. I would never vote for Donald Trump. And as I said, I think the Republicans are worse. But yeah, when it's funny when I talk to, my friends around my age, 40, and they're always bitching to me about their kids who are like in their 20s, and they're like super uber woke, and they're driving their parents crazy. And everything is like, you don't get it, Mom. That's old thinking. And I'm like, don't get what? Abolish the police? Tear down statues of Lincoln? Maybe give communism another shot? Get rid of the Border Patrol? Get rid of capitalism? White supremacy has never been worse. Gender is always just a social construct. It's okay to have penises in the women's swimming pool in women's prisons. Okay, no, it's not that I'm old. It's that your ideas are stupid.
There's no obligation, so text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity.
Dennis Prager here. I invite you to join me on a Bible cruise this November. Share fresh insights during these discussions, all while soaking up the sunshine and beauty of a tropical Caribbean paradise. Visit PragerBibleCruise.com.
Do you just grin and bear it or bite the bullet when it comes to everyday pain? Don't. Try Relief Factor, a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free. It's developed by doctors. In 3 weeks or less, you'll know whether it works for you like it works for me. Try Relief Factor for yourself. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can easily find coverage options that fit your budget. If only it was that easy to name your baby.
How about Jaden?
No.
Okay. Michael?
Went to middle school with a glue-eating Michael.
Sebastian?
Dated one in college.
How about Damien?
Vampire name.
All right. Greg?
Not feeling it.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Jeffrey?
Oh, love that one.
Wait, really?
No.
Find coverage options that fit your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law, not available in all states.
My son Aiden has asthma. Secondhand smoke has triggered his asthma so badly, he ended up in the emergency room and spent multiple nights in intensive care. Now he's on a whole bunch of medications. My tip to you is, don't be shy about telling people not to smoke around your kids.
Half of U.S. kids are exposed to secondhand smoke. If you or someone you know wants help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer, anywhere you go. With The Answer's mobile app at 989theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn, or iHeart.
Boy, have I discovered some beautiful neighborhoods in Central Ohio that I did not know existed. One of them is tucked away just kind of 270-ish up in Worthington last night. Wonderful neighborhood and some really awesome people. John and his wife. I don't want to give away their identity too much, but I will give away the fact that they are beautifying their new home with beautiful new flooring, and I'm helping them with it, and I enjoyed it. They are such nice people. Also, the other day I was over in Galena, heading back there again today. If you need flooring, if you need carpet, if you need luxury vinyl plank flooring, I can help you out. Go to brucehooley.com, click on the flooring tab in the upper right-hand corner. We employ our own installers. We will get you installed fast. We will save you money, and you will love the look of your home. Why wait until you beautify your home for the next person who will buy it? Why not enjoy it yourself? Don't worry. The products will last for quite some time, and you get to enjoy them. So save money and let me help you. BruceHooley.com, flooring tab, upper right-hand corner of the webpage. Today at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, they will have a funeral in Houston, Texas for 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungery, murdered by 2 illegal aliens who were detained when they crossed the border. One of them was given an ankle monitor. Didn't stop them from strangling, raping, and torturing this girl over a 2-hour period. They lured her out of her home via her cell phone, and they tied her up and they tortured her for 2 hours before they strangled her and threw her in the creek. Her mom, heartbreaking to hear her remember her daughter and what her daughter's legacy compels this mother to do going forward.
She was a child. She was my child. She was my firstborn. She was a preteen that was slowly becoming this beautiful, beautiful young lady. And she was going so far. She had admiration of dreams and aspiring goals that she wanted to do in life. She was going to make it. She was going to do things. And these men, these illegal men, took that opportunity from my daughter, from our family, of watching her become this amazing person. So now, with her voice being ripped away from her, I am going to be her voice and stand strong and try to make a difference in this world, because this has got to stop. We have to stop burying our kids. This is not right. We have to have more reinforcement when it comes to letting people in. This is not okay. It's not okay.
I'm going to be deeply disappointed tonight if Donald Trump does not have at his immediate recall the names of some of the many murder victims of illegal aliens since Joe Biden opened the border. Ruby Garcia in Michigan, Jocelyn Nungery in Houston, Rachel Morin in Maryland, Laken Riley in Oklahoma. And I would love Trump to say to Jake Tapper and to Dana Bash, does Joe Biden know the names? Can Joe Biden name 2 victims of illegal migrant crime? And by the way, Donald Trump should say illegal as often as he can. Illegal. You're telling everyone, Joe, that I'm lawless? It is illegal for millions of aliens to be in this country, taking American tax dollars that could be going to Black citizens in inner city Chicago. You're moving people out of rec centers in New Jersey so that you can house illegal immigrants in those rec centers. You say, I don't have compassion? I have deep compassion for the citizens of this country and immigrants who come here legally. I do not have as much compassion, because we cannot afford to have as much compassion, for people who come here and murder 12-year-old girls, for people who assault police on the streets of New York City, for people who rape 12-year-old girls at the point of a machete in a park in New York City. Those are all things that Donald Trump should say tonight. And while there's too many times that Joe Biden has said things about opening the border for Trump to remember them all, here's just a snippet of the things that Joe Biden has said about the border. And now he has the temerity to act like, oh, I'm moving to secure the border.
Documented immigrants arrested by local police be turned over to immigration officials?
No. Trump's cruel and humane border policies, remain in Mexico program. I mean, all of this is going to take time, not a long time, but it's going to take, you have to be prepared so we don't create another crisis.
Oh, really? It take time. He undid all of Trump's border policies on his first day in office. More than 90 Trump policies were undone with one stroke of Joe Biden's pen. So we don't create a big crisis. Really? Really? I'm looking at a tweet right here. Well, this is about Afghanistan and our foreign issues. By the way, I've talked about migrant crime. You know what I haven't talked about? I haven't said a word about fentanyl. I haven't said a word about the illegal drugs crossing our border. Do you know that we have seized enough fentanyl? The number I heard this morning, to kill 250 million Americans. There's going to be a lot of room. You know what there's going to be? a lot of available, affordable housing when there are only 80 million Americans left after everybody overdoses on fentanyl, which comes from, at least the precursors do, from China. Which, wait a second, isn't China the country where Hunter Biden went and is getting paid? And boy, there couldn't possibly be, if Trump were in office, nobody would make the connection between Donald Trump or his son having cozy ties with China if China were sending precursor drugs to Mexico and then they were coming across our border and threatening the safety of 250 million Americans. Nobody on the Democratic side would make that connection. No, in Congress, in the Capitol, they are too busy mustering great amounts of empathy for illegal alien crime victims like Jocelyn Nungaray. If you don't believe me, here's Fox's Hillary Vaughn approaching Summer Lee. Summer Lee is a black congresswoman, I believe, from Pennsylvania. Wow. The empathy that she has for Jocelyn Nungaray and her family is, well, it's something.
Can I ask you quickly about the 12-year-old girl in Houston that was tortured?
To strangers. I don't even know who you are. I don't know who she is. I live in Pittsburgh.
Okay, but there was a child who was killed at the...
I don't know anything about it.
I don't know who you are, Hillary Vaughn. I don't talk to strangers. I don't know anything about see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, have no integrity. That's Summer Lee, your congresswoman from Pennsylvania. Wow. Is that empathy? No, that's just pathetic. Alejandro Mayorkas yesterday faced tough questions about his lack of stewardship on the border. Don't worry, he assured the questioner that everything's fine.
Obviously, the media, the nation has had their eyes on the brutal crimes committed recently by illegal immigrants. One of them was actually wearing an ICE ankle monitor. Yet this morning you said in an interview that the safety of the American people is the priority and that these individuals are vetted. But we know in our conversations with the ICE director, we've heard the FBI director say that there are significant gaps in intel. So what would you say to reassure the American people that they are in fact safe? And what would you say to the families who are mourning their loved ones because of these migrant crimes being committed?
Well, let me start where you ended. A message to the families is, of course, our hearts are with them, given their suffering. The safety and security of the American public is indeed our highest priority.
Really?
We screen and vet individuals when we encounter them. If we learn of derogatory information subsequently, later in the process, then we take enforcement action accordingly.
Man, who can argue with that strategy? We take the safety and security of the American people very seriously. It's our utmost concern. That's why when people come into our country illegally and we have no idea who they are because they have no ID and they just tell us their name, we have to let them go. And then if we find out later that they're a problem, then we issue a warrant and we go try to find them later. And you know, after they murder somebody, after they rape somebody, after they assault a police officer, well, then we arrest them. And then, you know, if it's in New York or Houston or some other sanctuary city, yeah, sure, they'll be let out without bond, without cash bail, Chicago too. And then they'll probably do something else worse. And then we'll marshal our forces and find them again. And eventually, you know, they'll escalate their crimes to where they take another life or ruin some law-abiding family's life forever. And then, man, then they're really in trouble.
Mostly sunny, a bit less humid this afternoon. The high today 81. Clear to partly cloudy tonight, low 59. Sunny clouds tomorrow, and the high 88. Saturday, cloudy, humid, shower and a heavy thunderstorm. That could bring some damaging wind, maybe some flash flooding too. The high Saturday, 87. Passing shower on Sunday morning, otherwise some clouds and sun. High on Sunday, 84. Sunny, terrific day on Monday, the high 80. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-504-8790. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-504-8790. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-504-8790.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
You'll sleep better knowing you've got a great deal on a great mattress because you've got it from Mac Mattress Outlet and the Discount Shopping Club. Right now, get a $500 certificate from Mac Mattress Outlet toward any mattress purchase for only $250. These certificates go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. For details, log on to the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com.
Mattress Outlet.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You can really make a difference in the life of an older adult by volunteering to deliver Meals on Wheels. This is Chuck Gehring, president of Life Care Alliance, your Meals on Wheels provider. We need more volunteers. Listen to how serving as a volunteer for Life Care Alliance has touched the life of one of our volunteers.
I'm Dan Marvin. I've been doing Meals on Wheels for almost 20 years now. When I first started, it was just something I thought I could help people out with, but it turned out that I ended up helping myself. It's a labor of love, and I would do it even if I had to pay for it.
Hi, my name's Penny Masters Bose. I was raised to give back, and Life Care Meals on Wheels is a great way to do that.
Make a difference today. To learn more, call 444-MEAL or 444-6325 or visit us at lifecarealliance.org.
Boy, I had a great night's sleep last night. That is no joke. Like, usually I have to get up at least once in the night, but not last night. And when I do get up, it's not because my pillow is uncomfortable or my mattress is uncomfortable or because my sheets feel like they're made of sandpaper. No, none of that happens because I have MyPillow products. And you should have MyPillow products too. Never more affordable than now because MyPillow has the $25 extravaganza going on. Towels, yours a little ratty, little holes here, there, little fuzz balls on them. And you think you would like to upgrade, but oh my goodness, have you seen the price of towels at the store? Well, don't go to the store. Go to mypillow.com and plug in my promo code Bruce. $25. I didn't say $25 off. I said $25. MyPillow towels made with the world's best cotton. You know Mike Lindell has access to it because he uses the world's best cotton to make his Giza Dream bed sheets. Are those on sale? Yes, they are. $25. Check it out, including the MyPillow itself. It's not a bait and switch. You won't know until you go. MyPillow.com, promo code Bruce. Now, slow-mo Joe Biden has been out of pocket for a week. He's been in Camp David in the woods preparing. 16 aides buzzing back and forth on golf carts. They have outfitted an airplane hangar to look just like the CNN stage tonight at the debate. That's so Joe won't get in there and go, turn, what, who, where am I supposed to go? Whose hand am I supposed to shake? This will be just like a normal day for Joey B. And they've been strategizing, and Salon Magazine, which I don't know, is this written by beauticians? Some of the suggestions in here appear as if they are written by beauticians, because they're, well, they look good on the surface, but they're propped up by nothing more stable than hairspray. Here is the answers Joe Biden should give to the 3 most challenging debate questions tonight, according to Salon Magazine, written by Dennis, I'm not making this up, Aftergut, and Austin Surratt. The story begins like this. Tell me if you agree. Count on CNN moderators Dana Bash and Jake Tapper to try to put both candidates on the defensive with their questions during Thursday's debate. Oh, I love satire. Wait, that's not satire. That's what they really think. They really think Dana Bash and Jake Tapper are going to come after Joe Biden. Sure they are. Here's the first question, they say Tapper and Bash are going to hit Joe with. Mr. President, you know the questions about your age. Can you reassure Americans you have not slowed down so much that it keeps you from fully performing your duties for 4 more years? And then they suggest that Joe Biden talk about his $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill, building bridges, roads. Did they not see the headline the other day that he spent like $42 billion on giving high-speed internet to people in rural America and no one has been hooked up yet? Don't know. They also say he has delivered $200 million in green energy projects. Yes. I think Biden should mention that. Mention that a lot, Joe, because Donald Trump will treat that like Stephen Kwan treats a fastball in his wheelhouse. Question number 2, Mr. President, many people have lost confidence in your ability to manage the economy because of inflation. There's no way Tapper and Bash are even going to suggest that people have lost confidence in Joe Biden, even though they have. What is your answer to them? And they say Biden should answer, first, I get it. Inflation hurts ordinary Americans. You know what Trump should do? He should just ask Tapper to ask Biden. Jake, I'd be curious to know, Joe Biden has said inflation was 9% when he came into office. Would you do me a favor and would you ask him if he knows what inflation is? I would like to know if Biden says, yes, inflation is the rate at which prices are increasing. Year over year, same month to same month, the rate at which prices are increasing. That's the inflation rate. I don't think Biden knows that. And I think sometimes you just answer simple questions presuming the other person knows the answers. I mean, some people have suggested Trump ought to ask Biden, Joe, how many people in your cabinet? Can you name them all? I don't know. Maybe Biden could, but I don't know. But anyway, Salon, after they get done poofing people's hair up, say that Joe Biden should answer this way. Let's look at the record. Inflation was 5.2% when I came into office. Now it's just over 3%. Hello, Salon. You better go back to curling people's hair because according to usinflationcalculator.com and other websites, I'm looking right at it, inflation rate in January of 2021 was not 5.2% or 4.2% or 3.2% or even 2.2%. It was 1.4%. You know when it became 5%? In May of 2021. You know what happened in March of 2021? The American Rescue Plan was passed by Joe Biden. More spending. Hey, I'm the president. We're coming out of a pandemic. We spent trillions of dollars giving Americans checks for doing nothing because we foolishly and stupidly shut down the economy during COVID. I've got an idea as president. Why don't we just keep spending the same amount that we spent during the pandemic because inflation is transitory. That's what my Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, says. I mean, she came right off the Star Wars set as Yoda. She's got to know what's going on with the American financial system, doesn't she? I heard somebody, I think it was Gutfeld the other day, say, you know that Janet Yellen is taking inflation seriously because it's very obvious that she started cutting her own hair. Gutfeld gets off some good ones. Question number 3, according to the helpful beauticians at Salon. President Biden on immigration. Polls report that American voters trust President Trump more than they trust you. Why? And Joe Biden, he always has to acknowledge, oh, that's a real. Have you noticed this? Like now, in any environment where there's give and take, people always have to go, oh, thank you for the question. Oh, that's a really good question, which is sort of code for crap. I was hoping you weren't going to ask me that. But anyway, so they say Biden should answer that question about illegal immigration and American voters trusting Trump more. Biden should say, I know illegal immigration is a real problem, and I have worked hard to stem the tide of illegal immigration. That's why on my first day in office, I sent Congress comprehensive legislation to completely overhaul the broken immigration system that I inherited. Really? Man, are these like plants at Salon magazine? Because if he gives these answers, which he might, if he gives these answers and Trump doesn't pull out a figurative Louisville slugger and hit it farther than any home run that Willie Mays or Mickey Mantle or Mike Trout or John Carlos Stanton or Aaron Judge or Barry Bonds has ever hit a home run, then that's bad on Trump. Because everything is set up tonight for Donald Trump to end Joe Biden's chance to be president a second time. Now, I don't underestimate the stupidity of the American voting bloc to warm to, oh, Gavin Newsom, he's a fresh face and we like his hair gel and all that. I mean, Gavin Newsom as a replacement for Joe Biden, he'd make a fantastic Democratic nominee for president. Of course he would, because Gavin Newsom is a liar every time he opens his mouth. If you don't believe me, just listen to him yesterday.
In California, you don't have to be profligate to be progressive. We understand how to balance budgets while protecting working families, children, and the most vulnerable in our state.
They may understand how to balance budgets in the state of California. They're just not doing it. Do you know what the deficit is in the state of California, where they have perfect weather, access to like, how many hundreds, maybe even 1,000 miles of coastline do they have for shipping lanes and the like? They are $70 billion in debt in California. Oh, we understand how to balance budgets. Yeah, run them up beyond what you can afford.
You've probably heard the saying that knowledge is power. Well, I'm Bruce Hooley, and I'm here to tell you that is absolutely true when it comes to the doctors at QC Kinetics. I consulted with them, and now I have such a greater understanding of advanced regenerative medicine and why they are able to get so many people who have pain, elbow, hip, knee, back, neck, out of pain, because every visit in the protocol, in the treatment, is designed to do a specific thing. And they are getting tremendous results at their clinics in Dublin and Gahanna. The treatment and the science behind it is so detailed, I can't get into all of it here, but I was just so impressed with how comprehensive it is and how passionate the people who are being treated are about the relief that they have received. So why don't you take advantage of the free consultation that QC Kinetics offers you by calling
Matt Mayer,
208-1205. That's 380-208-45.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah. I'll do that. Is it okay to do it while Matt's on the phone, or is that no? He's on the phone. It'll ring busy.
Probably after.
Okay, sounds good.
Stream is 24/7 at WTOH and WTOH HD1 Upper Arlington, Columbus.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Tonight's presidential debate at 9 p.m. Eastern will be breaking new ground. White House correspondent Greg Clugston explains.
When Joe Biden and Donald Trump face off this evening for 90 minutes, it will make history as the first debate between a sitting president and a former president. The debate also comes unusually early in the general election calendar, before the candidates are officially their party's nominees. And in a departure from recent presidential debates, tonight's will be held in a TV studio with no audience and muted microphones when it's not the candidate's turn to speak. Greg Clugston, Atlanta.
Also at townhall.com, the Supreme Court clearing the way for Idaho hospitals to provide emergency abortions for now, in a procedural ruling that leaves key questions unanswered.
The ruling could mean the issue ends up before the High Court again soon. It came after an opinion was briefly posted on the court's website accidentally and quickly taken down, but not before it was obtained by Bloomberg News. The Biden administration had argued doctors must be allowed to provide emergency abortions when a pregnant patient's health is at serious risk. Idaho says its law does allow abortions to save the life of a pregnant woman, and federal law doesn't require wider exceptions.
Correspondent Jeremy House, the Supreme Court rejecting a nationwide settlement with OxyContin maker Purdue Pharma that would have shielded Sackler family members who own the company from civil lawsuits over the toll of opioids, but would have also provided billions of dollars to combat the epidemic. The justices blocked an agreement hammered out with state and local governments and victims. The Sacklers would have contributed up to $6 billion and relinquished ownership of the company, but kept billions more. The Dow is ahead 66 points, the Nasdaq losing 11. More at townhall.com.
Mostly sunny, a bit less humid this afternoon. The high today 81. Clear to partly cloudy tonight, low 59. Sunny clouds tomorrow, and the high 88. Saturday, cloudy, humid, shower and a heavy thunderstorm. That could bring some damaging wind, maybe some flash flooding too. The high Saturday, 87. Passing shower on Sunday morning, otherwise some clouds and sun. The high on Sunday, 84. Sunny, terrific day on Monday, the high 80. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Join me, Dennis Prager, on an unforgettable Bible cruise to the Caribbean, November 29th to December 8th, 2024. Imagine 9 days of basking in the sun, surrounded by the stunning beauty of a tropical paradise. Amid profound conversations, I'll share about the Bible and my insights into current events in a way that I believe you will really enjoy. Secure your spot on this once-in-a-lifetime adventure by calling 855-565-5519 or booking online at PragerBibleCruise.com.
With a fine sport, I'm Jeremy House. Major League Baseball.
That will do it for our first hour of the show today. You can listen to the rest of the show at 989theanswer.com. You can watch it at the Bruce Hooley Show Facebook page or the 989theanswer.com Facebook page. So thanks for joining. Appreciate it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.
As an injury replacement and delivered the game-winning single.